requesting Mr. Thijs Odostra, Deputy Ambassador of the Embassy of Netherlands, Mr. Abdullah Rakib, Mr. Shofiur Rahman, Mr. Shams Mahmood, Mr. Matthew Urbani, Mr. Andrea Vena. Ladies and gentlemen, I request you all to have a big round of applause for the panel discussions. Before starting our panel discussions, as you know, this is the 15th edition of Bangladesh Denim Expo, happening starting from yesterday. It's also happening today. So I welcome you all, distinguished panelists. Thank you for your time. So we'll starting our panel discussions. Before starting, I would like to also share a few points. For each question, you will be requested to answer within maximum 3 minutes, and after the round of discussion on stage, we'll also like to take some questions from the floor. With this note, I would like to start with Mr. Thijs Odostra, Deputy Ambassador, Embassy of the Kingdom of the Netherlands in Bangladesh. So the first question to you, we know that European Commission has proposed sustainable and circular strategies for apparel and textile industry. So we'd like to know from you what are the main things Bangladesh apparel industry have to adopt to adhere to these EU sustainable strategies. And the second part of this question is we are also getting some confusing timeline about the implementation of these strategies. Some are saying it is starting from 2014, some are saying it's starting from 2030. So my complement question of this, from when they are EU implementing these strategies? So if you kindly answer.
Does it work? Yeah, I guess it works. First of all, thank you all for inviting me at this panel. Does it count for my 3 minutes, I hope? Thank you for inviting me to this panel. It's an honor to be here from the Netherlands. Amsterdam called the denim capital of the world, so I feel at home here, sitting next to a Dutch brand G-Star, which I'm buying a lot, so I feel privileged actually to sit here next to my neighbor. And first of all, I would like also to compliment Bangladesh on, of course we know the apparel industry, Rana Plaza 10 years ago, it happened, and start with the Accord. And at this moment only 2 countries worldwide are adhering to the accord on worker safety and health. So it's Bangladesh and Vietnam and Pakistan that already have taken up the challenge to innovate and to adapt to consumers' needs and to workers' rights. So I would like to compliment Bangladesh already for the notable progress they have made to be a compliant sector, and I guess Bangladesh is able also to be compliant in the new rules and regulations from the EU. So what we do in the Netherlands, we accepted extended producer responsibility. Dutch buyers sourcing from Bangladesh will eventually have to take responsibility for the whole life cycle. And I guess this is not for Bangladesh garment industry to wait and to react, but to be active and to act before all rules and regulations become into laws, and that will come. The Bangladesh is a country which also has its obligations on climate vulnerability, so I guess you have to encompass all the issues of low energy needs, less use of water, treatment of chemicals, no wastewater. So I guess that Bangladesh is already on the right path, but can accelerate and will accelerate, because I know Bangladesh is an innovative country and Bangladesh can work towards it. On your question on when the EU legislation will take place, well, there you ask me a very interesting question about EU legislation. As we all know, the EU legislation is being part of a tripartite negotiation between Commission, Europarlament and Member States, and usually that can take up to 2 till 5 years. So I don't know when this will come into effect, but I know that at this moment the final word has not been said. So I guess seeing the developments worldwide going to COP28 in 2 weeks' time, We are heading to 1.5 degrees already. You see the climate stress rising. So I'm thinking that the European Parliament would say rather sooner than later for implementing this legislation. Thank you.
Thank you, Excellency. I will come back to you again. Now I would like to move forward to Mr. Abdullahil Rakib, Director BGME and Managing Director Team Group. We know Team Group is one of the trendsetters in sustainable practice in the apparel industry, but often denim is regarded one of the clothing products responsible for pollution. So we'd like to know from you how sustainable is currently denim production in Bangladesh and why. So if you kindly share your thoughts, sir.
Hello. Thank you, everybody. Thank you. And very interesting, tricky question. Why you are blaming only denim? In terms of pollution, everything is creating pollution as long you actually are not having the proper awareness or not having the enough knowledge or mindset to change the whole world. I'm sure that the industry has walked long. I was just discussing with Shams that 10 years back, what was the story of wastage of water when we turn around in terms of dyeing, in terms of washings. We have, I believe that the sustainability or sustainable product or sustainable production is kind of been most spelled, discussed topic last 5 years. 10 years back, the journey started, I would say that thanks to Denim Expo in terms of Bangladesh, played a very vital role. When I was walking, I would see that there are like exhibitions happening in terms of technology, in terms of product, in terms of focusing on sustainability. Everybody is talking about how much recyclable yarn has been utilized. There are commitments that by 2030, some of the retailers will use at least 50% of the yarn which will be recycled. We talk about saving energy. We talk about using the process, optimizing the process where we'll less use in terms of less chemical, less dyes to achieve better parameters in terms of consumption. I must say that the Gen Z, if you see our ultimate consumer, they are responsible. They want to have the barcode read that how much they actually lost water. They actually, what was the process being responsible in terms of producing. So they want to know much more than what we are actually providing now. So the future definitely have to be improved. I must say that at this point of time, compared to 10 years back, there are a lot of improvement in terms of material, in terms of understanding, awareness, even from the consumer side, manufacturer side, technology partner side, and of course the mid-level management-wise, they also understand how to do better sourcing. I must say that the progress individuals has shown is good enough, but the collective initiative is not good enough. We are blaming each other. We are making that, oh, I am not responsible. The brand is responsible. Brand is blaming the manufacturer. But we actually have to connect all the dots and we have to make it like a commitment because we have one planet to save, and we must say that by 2030 we have to do a lot more than what we have done last 15 years. So I think the current positioning, if you say the pollution, they actually, every partners has shown improvement, and there are rooms to improve, but I must say that not only denim, but also the other product also come along.
Thank you, sir. We'll also come back to you again. So with this note from you that it's a collective responsibility of brands and manufacturers to promote sustainability, we would like to come back to now Mr. Shafiur Rahman, Country Manager, GStar Raw, and the pertinent question to you that how brands can support Bangladesh denim industry to be more sustainable. So we'd like to know your thoughts.
Thank you. First of all, I would say once we are talking about sustainability, first question is coming the bottom line price. So value chain partners, if they got the right price from the brands, probably then value chain partners, they can start thinking about sustainability parts. Same time after price, I think our purchasing practice, because sometimes what we see, of course, let's say this is the basic, very, very basic term, the purchasing practice, but sometimes our manufacturers, not only in Bangladesh, probably in the globe, they are not getting right purchasing practice. What I wanted to mean, like, in purchasing practice, brand should give a proper capacity booking, and then based on that capacity booking, brand should take the responsibility to fill the capacity. Of course, there are certain gap can be there, but in case of that sort of gap, brand also responsible to communicate. And finally, sometimes what we also understand from many manufacturers, like they are also not getting payment from the bank. So what I believe, if we follow the right purchasing practice, and then it will be easy for manufacturers for in any country. And then as a brand, we are in between our customers and our manufacturers. So we are connected with many dots. We know the customer's expectation, and same time we also know different policies of different country policies. You know, let's say manufacturers, they are more focusing on manufacturing. So as a brand, if we can connect all those policies and the customer expectations with our manufacturers, then it will be easy for them to understand and realize what is coming in near future. And as a brand, if we can set some targets for them, and if we can work collaboratively, then they can achieve those milestones. And same time, as a brand, we are also connected with different country manufacturers. You know, we also know many best practices in the world. So once we are talking about sustainability, I think open and collaborative approach should be there. And everybody should not hide their best practices. Rather, if we can share the best practices with all, maybe that can help.
Thank you, Mr. Shafiur Rahman. We will come back to you again. Now, I would like to move to Mr. Shams Mahmood, Managing Director of Shams Denim Limited and former President DCCI. So when we talk about the sustainable transition of the denim industry, the importance of fabric cannot be overstated, because in denim is one of the products where the fabric is very important. But still recently we heard that Bangladesh denim industry has to import a lot of premium fabric from Turkey, Pakistan, etc. So my questions to you, sir, how much competent Bangladesh is now in producing sustainable denim fabrics?
Thank you. Good afternoon, Shubha Aparanno, Shobaike. One thing you have to realize is that when you talk about the brands and the sustainable practice, each brand has their own philosophy, their sourcing practice, and they decide which supply chain works for them. For example, in Bangladesh, when we talk about the price, when you're importing, suppose from Turkey, we say that it's very expensive, it's premium denim, but when you actually do the calculations, like Candiani in Italy, after you take away all the costs associated with production in Italy, for example, the insurance, the environment tax and everything, it's the same margin we all operate with. It is just the unit price is higher. When you take away the cost, it's almost the same across the board. Yes, for R&D, there are some challenges in Bangladesh. I would blame the owners more than anything, because we rarely reinvest in the company, in the personnel, and especially the R&D department. And there's a fundamental flaw in the curriculum, education curriculum of the textile sector in Bangladesh. It is mainly based out of the British books. Now, the British books, they talk more about the technological part. Whereas the CIS countries, the Russian books, they talk about the properties of the cotton. So we are taught in a different way. So that is something I think we need to change in the long run if we need to do this. And the question that you asked that we are importing the fabrics, that is not the case. For example, I'm exporting fabric to Vietnam, to Sri Lanka. We exported fabric to Brazil, Colombia, Guatemala, Romania. For brands like in Romania, we supplied fabric for diesel. And then it is the, again, it comes down to the same point that it is the brand's philosophy, how they want to source. Do they want, a long-term partnership where they have a tie-up with a particular company, and from there the fabrics are sourced. For example, we just became H&M's strategic partner. They have 15 strategic partners worldwide out of their entire 590 suppliers in the supply chain. So now, if anyone is taking fabric in Vietnam or Sri Lanka, it will be supplied from us. Same with Colds, we are supplying to Pakistan and all these countries. Thank you.
Thank you. I will come back to you again. And now I would like to move to Mr. Matthew Urbani, Managing Director of Soko Chemicals. So my question to you, we know that we have drastically reduced our water uses in the denim washing. Once there was about 100 liters, I mean even more than 100 liters was used to wash one pair of denims. Now it's come down about 55 to 60 liters in Bangladesh on an average. But being a technical person on the chemicals, my question to you is really waterless denim washing is possible, and why?
Good afternoon. It's a target, but frankly, at least at the moment, waterless is not possible. Less water, yes. Waterless, frankly, still is not possible. Also because all the brands, end of the day, they have to sell beautiful garments. And to get beautiful garments, you need to make a full process, which is also including the washing. Because denim, since we are talking about denim, jeans, one pair of jeans is not beautiful, become beautiful. Jeans is not beautiful once it is raw. Jeans become beautiful once it have a story to tell. Once you wear a pair of jeans for a certain time, it gets beautiful because get some line, some vintage look. This is what is making denim beautiful. If you want to sell beautiful pair of jeans, you have to wash it to give that kind of look. There are techniques which nowadays can allow to reduce water consumption, that's for sure. And frankly, I'm representing a chemical company because this is my family business. But what is the business which we are running now is not the same business which my grandfather was doing. Nowadays, chemical companies, even if the word chemical looks like a bad word, believe me that most of the innovation which come in the washing comes through chemical companies and also machinery companies, because the industry itself, the laundry, cannot make innovation without having partners like chemical industries and like machineries, which provide them new techniques, new technology to reduce the water consumption. So once you think about chemicals, don't think only like, oh, that's poison. It's not poison. First, chemical is in our life, because chemistry is in our daily life. And then this industry, which is not only the mine, I mean, all my colleagues which are involved in the same industry, we are all working in the same direction, and the direction is to provide to the industry better technologies, better solutions. Then it's up to the industry to adopt it, and gradually is coming to the field, and the industry is gradually improving. So waterless, no, till now, no.
Okay. So as you mentioned about the new technologies, can you please share what are the recent innovations in chemical sustainability, or share some of the latest innovations of Suco chemicals?
Yes, for example, in the same direction to reduce the water consumption, we launched recently a technique which is using a machinery which is already available in the washing plant, which is the ozone, to improve the ozone efficiency in such a way you could achieve the fading look which is demanded from the buyer to give that famous beautiful look to the jeans, without using conventional oxidizing agents, which are the most dangerous products, well known, like hypochlorite, permanganate, such kind of things. So these techniques, which by the way is our technology which we patent a couple of years back, is starting to give some good results, and gradually these are coming to the industry.
Thank you, Metu. Now I would like to move to Mr. Andrea Vienna, Managing Director of Officina Plus 39. So one of the major barriers in promoting sustainability is knowledge. And we know that companies like Officina Plus 39 is constantly coming up with new technologies. But my question to you is, how could the manufacturers be aware about the latest sustainable technologies?
Good afternoon, everybody. Firstly, thanks Mostafitz and Denim Expo for this opportunity and invitation, and thanks all the other panelists to be here to share this point of view. And so, thanks for the question. And this is the place. Means exhibition are the place where we are connecting the manufacturing with the technologies. Many of you has been in ITMA in Milan last June, and has been the most important event from the technology innovation point of view during last 4 years. And Denim Expo, as others important show like Kingpins, are the place where we can show the new technologies and be aware the supply chain about those technologies. There is then one point, according to me, very important to have success when you are introducing a new technology. As Matteo said, I think the supply chain from the chemical point of view and the machinery point of view during last 10 years, did an incredible job to introduce new technologies in the denim industry and the garment industry in general. And I liked a lot what Mr. Shaifur Gistar said about used collaboration between the stakeholders. This is the point. I think to have really success, because we have to say in very frank way, I'm always very direct. I don't want to play, but just to say what I'm thinking in very direct way. I think that we have to say that in somehow we are still stuck with these technologies in the market. Means that brands from one side are looking for technologies, manufacturing are pushing us to provide technology, but then most of the time this is taking time. It's very slow, the process to introduce these technologies and make this not just a capsule collection, but make this as a regular use in the laundries and the industries. I think this is the most important point where we should work all together, all the stakeholders, brands, manufacturing, chemicals, machineries, where really I think the next stage of the innovation should be to make some plan together, understanding really which is the needs of the brands, understanding what are the requests from the industry, from the manufacturing, and which is the price that everybody we can pay. Because during last year, for example, I just made something that is, I think, very common for all of us, the potassium permanganate replacement. I think are 10 years we are discussing about that. And really, during last 5 years, I can see Officina 39, like our competitors, and also from the machinery point of view, coming in the market with a lot of technologies. but then we are stuck mostly from the price. And I think is something that we cannot say is just a problem because brands don't want to use it for a matter of price. I think that collaboration should be the new way to work around the technologies, the innovation. We should find a way to create a round table where we are making brainstorming and say, okay, this is the brand's needs, this is the supply chain needs, and try to develop what really brands, supply chain, manufacturing, and us, like innovators, we can bring. So this, I think, what should be the future. And I really hope that from next year, 2024, we can start. I don't know, maybe Denim Expo can be one of the place, and other exhibition like IPMix, the place where we can create this round table to discuss all together. Because really, we have to collaborate and develop what needs to improve the final products in the market.
Yeah, so one complimentary question to you. Could you please share some of the latest sustainable technologies by Officina Plus 39?
Yes, here as already, I think it's very important to be transparent. So also I like to say that it's not possible, according to me, completely waterless garments. We have a program inside the company we are calling Aqualess Mission. This is for the denim industry, where we are trying to reduce day by day. It's a continuous job that we are doing in our R&D center in Italy, where we are trying to develop thinking how to reduce the water consumption. Nowadays, we developed already, we started with 2 chemicals, now we are 4 chemicals in this package that permit us, when used all together, to reduce the impact. And then I think the next stage is the circular economy, where Officina 39 is investing a lot. From dye-stuff point of view, we have a recycler, it's our recycler patented from textile waste dye-stuffs. And then recently in ITMA, we launched a binder, we call it the Eco Binder, where it's coming from the recycling of safety glass. In the cars, there is a safety glass, where inside there is a polymers, there is a film that is avoiding to break the glass in a dangerous way, in very small pieces. And with a company that is recycling the glass, we are cooperating with them to transform the rubber that they are taking out at a certain moment, they are filtering from the glass recycling, and we are transforming again, putting an emulsion in a acrylic binder, and so they can replace the conventional binder. So I think this is the future. From one side, reduce the impact, from the other side, use what already we have as a wastage.
Thank you. And with your note of the circularity, I would like to now come to Excellency Thijs Oderstra, once again. My question to you, Your Excellency, when we talk about sustainability, circularity, of course, now one of the most talked of the topic, and one of the main components of your sustainable strategy or the due diligence is, of course, circularity. So my questions to you is how the Embassy of Netherlands in Bangladesh could support the transition of Bangladesh apparel industry from linear to circular?
Thank you very much for the question. And indeed, what we just heard also in this panel discussion, circularity is there to be. And the garment industry is not an exception. It's all industries have to deal with circularity and actually to use less inputs and to reuse inputs. And I guess that's a platform which has been set between suppliers, buyers, producers, manufacturers. You have to combine all from design stage to your machinery stage, production stage, and buying stage. And as a Dutch embassy, of course, we are keenly interested in the Bangladeshi garment industry. We work together in several projects in the garment industry. And also we are trying next year, we will start a circularity project with the Holland Circular Hotspot, where we will combine buyers, producers, and also designers in order to increase circularity in the garment industry in Bangladesh. So you find us on our side on circularity, and I hope we can contribute to a better circular industry in Bangladesh. Thank you.
Thank you. And Also, would like to know more about circularity from Mr. Shafiur Rahman, Country Manager, G-Star Raw. So my questions to you, are brands really adopting circular fashion? And what is the instance of the G-Star Raw in promoting circularity?
Thank you. It's a very straightforward question. So first of all, let's say if we talk about pre-consumer waste and the post-consumer waste, and then if we talk about raw material part, let's say top two, cotton and polyester. So first of all, let's say pre-consumer waste is kind of very easy to collect because anyway this is already in manufacturer's end. But post-consumer waste, this is scattered in all over the world. So there are many brands who are working about it and trying to collect post-consumer waste also. But as of today, straightforward, so far I know, like complete circular loop, only 1% post-consumer waste are coming into new garment. Far to go. And then as a brand, what we try, first of all, we always try to offer good quality product. The reason why I'm telling, none of our customers are purchasing G-Star product for one-time use. So if a wearer wear a product for long time, this is already more sustainable. And then in case of any damage, we also offer free repair in Europe even. So that also help. And finally, like sometimes you cannot avoid it. So if you cannot avoid it, you can reduce it. So we also have that philosophy to reduce and reuse. Same time, if we talk about polyester part, polyester part is very easy to collect. That's why what we saw, like we could manage to use recycled polyester material in our product. Like all of our, whatever the polyester we are using, mainly for outerwear or sewing thread, all those are recycled polyester. Even all the packing material, we are using post-consume polybags. So this is what we could manage to at the moment.
Thank you. And now I would like to come again to Mr. Abdullahil Rakib, Director BJMEA and Managing Director Team Group. The question I will ask you, sir, a bit broad question, I know, but we would also like to know your perspective as an industry leader. That when we talk about sustainability, we all will agree that Bangladesh has did significant improvements in recent years. And one of the testament to it is the number of green factories we have in Bangladesh. But looking forward, what are the ways to make further improvements in sustainable denim production? So if you say about the future.
Well, thank you. Thank you. I think everybody already echoed what are the things to do. Most important that we have to come to a platform where we set a goal for everybody, not individually. Technology partners do some innovation in terms of technology, how to be more sustainable, and a manufacturer works on his process. But I believe that this stage of people have to sit down together to set a common goal and to set the parameters and the costing. I repeat the word costing, because in your pre-costing, there are no costing. When a customer sourcing team comes and a customer CSR team comes, they speak the different language. So if we talk about having a correct ROI in terms of investing into innovation, in terms of investing into infrastructure, or even the process, we all have to understand the cost and the ROI. And if we understand the ultimate consumer's needs, say, talk about Gen Z or the father generation, we need to understand what they want and what they will be able to sell in terms of design, in terms of developing the material, and of course understanding the process to have the most optimized product. But I must say that to understand that, you have to have your FOB, stroke your retail, and the cost of each of the process. Whatever we are doing like in a satellite way. I am doing my development and I'm thinking I'm happy with my development without knowing the ultimate connectivity and without connecting all the dots. So I strongly recommend that the customers or the policymakers or the intergovernmental regulatory bodies to sit down to set the goal and to determine the cost of in each of those process and support that cost. Right away, we can say that we are optimizing, or I do not know how much each of us is capitalizing the advantage of minimum wages, but we do not have any benchmark of minimum prices of any of those processes. And thereby, many people are taking advantage. I'm sure people like G-Star is not taking advantage, but there are people who are taking advantage and imbalancing the entire ecosystem. And talk about imbalancing and affecting to this ecosystem, we rather be responsible to get everybody's on the table and have a benchmark to set the minimum price to support that minimum goal which we will set for 2030 or 2040. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for your valuable insights. And now I'll come back again to Mr. Shams Mahmood, and the question I would like to ask you is a bit tricky, because whatever we say that we have reduced our water consumption in denim production, still now a lot of water is used in the denim production. And as we heard from the Rakib sir, we are actually also not counting the cost of water when we giving the cost to our buyer. And ultimately, water is taken for granted. So my question to you, do you think something like water tax could be introduced to accelerate the momentum of sustainability in denim industry?
Thank you so much. This is something that's very close to my heart. So first of all, my factory is in the export processing zone. And inside the export processing zone, I'm paying 44 taka per cubic meter for water. Outside the zone, my friends who are in this industry are paying 1 taka per cubic meter for water. If they need to process it, they pay 4 taka. So I'm actually paying 40 taka more. And so that hurts me. So what did we do regarding this? So I'm very proud to say that our denim mill, we have, it's a certified thing, and I'm just saying this, the lowest water usage in the world. We use, just for the dyeing process, 3.5 liters of water. For the entire process, when the industry average is 30, we have reduced it to 18 liters right now. And because of that, companies like Ralph Lauren, Diesel, H&M, we have formed strategic partnerships with all of them now. And so what we are doing is that thing, and we have invested. Because I was paying, so there are two disadvantages that I faced. Number one was the water, the cost of water, because we actually have to pay for the water. The second was, since I'm inside the zone, we do not get any incentives from the government, which other industries get. So we had to think outside the box, and we have a 5-year plan. We have already invested $80 million in new technology. We have the latest denim machine from Master in Italy. The new washing plant we have is all from Tonello with water savings and everything. Genealogy has become our strategic partner now. We are working together with Dow Chemicals from the US on how to reduce this. All our fabrics that we are making has very high laser efficiency. So the story we are creating is an entire narrative, not just on a piecemeal basis that here's the fabric, but from everything. And in fact, we are the only textile mill in Asia who has a CO2 recovery system. So everything builds into it. And regarding the question that you said there should be a water tax, I think there should be a resource audit should be mandatory. In order to, if you can show that every year you have reduced your consumption by 1% or 2%, you should be eligible for some sort of incentive from the government. It should not, I mean, it may be in cash, it may not be in cash. Government can subsidize you in terms of electricity, because there is actually more generation done in Bangladesh than the actual consumption. So industries can be given incentives in the other way, so everyone adopts this. And if you think like that down the line, it will be beneficial for all of us. And one thing, whenever we talk about water, about process, about machine, from a textile point of view, the secondary stage, we stick to that discussion. But I think chemical companies are very important into this, because we are using some chemicals, special chemicals, which makes us skip 3-4 processes, whereas the fastness is still there. So there needs to be collaboration between the chemical companies as well as the mill operators, and the R&D needs to be done as well. And also, I think in Bangladesh down the line, we need very good chemists, because that is something, I think there's a huge shortfall in this industry. And another thing I want to add is that we already have cut down our water consumption by almost 60%, chemical consumption by 35%. And I thought that I was very well set for the new laws that are coming in for net neutrality. And unfortunately, now I just found out that we have to reinvest almost $5 million to make it actually neutral. So challenges will come. It is a manufacturing process. We have dealt with this process, and in spite of all the challenges, we have gone ahead. And I think events like these are very important to highlight and raise these concerns. Thank you.
Thank you for valuable thoughts. Now the floor is open to the audience. So if anybody want to ask questions to the speakers, if you kindly raise your hands, our microphone will go to you. So anybody in the floor audience want to ask questions? So before you ask your question, could you please introduce yourself and also say whom from the panelists you want to answer your question?
Hello, Assalamu alaikum. I am Mohammad Iftekhar Rahman. I am assistant professor at BGMA University of Fashion and Technology. Actually, my question is to the whole panel. Anybody can answer. From my understanding, I found that I'm thinking that there is two sides for the manufacturing firms. We are doing a lot of upgrading in between the years. So there is a lot of product upgrading happened already. In denim industry, there is a lot of process upgrading is happening. There is also a lot of functional and intersectoral upgrading. And now we are also focusing on social upgrading and environmental upgrading as well. So my question is, is this upgrading helping us to move forward in international market? We already passed that CMT days, and now we are doing OEM. So in future, is there any opportunity for the manufacturers to see their position, upgraded position in global value chain, or seeing our own local brand in international market? Yeah.
Rakib sir, would you like to answer the questions?
Thank you so much.
Well, every improvement helps. So, of course, when we talk about saving this planet in terms of being responsible, we all have to make sure that we have one common goal, and we set our timeline to achieve it. And of course, your question make me a bit kind of confused, that why do you even think so that this will not help? This will definitely have the acceptance for us as a more sustainable source or hub to get it produced. Of course, then again, our image can create our brand, and our brand can go multinational, and we can be showing our presence like many other manufacturing countries. That's not a problem at all. As long as we understand, and as long as you understand us and how do we brand us better in terms of any platform, that will definitely give us some sales point.
Thank you. Anybody else from the audience? Yes, microphone to Mr. Maher, Abdullah Maher, please.
So
okay, sorry,
before
Mr. Mono
actually
from the team probably,
I
yes.
take the mic.
Okay.
So thank you. Nice discussions. This is Monowar, and I'm head of sustainability at the team group. So my question could be the brand representative, maybe from Mr. Shafiur Rahman. So we have seen that regardless the fact that the manufacturers are making huge stride in terms of reducing their environmental impact in the manufacturing process, also within the supply chain. But then again, we have seen in Just Styles and in many other magazines, the new generation consumers, especially the millennials and the Gen Zers, they oftentimes don't understand the sustainability informations. These informations are not being properly communicated, and they think that these are marketing gimmick, or in environmental terms you can say greenwashing. So I think the huge amount of effort that has been made by the manufacturers in Bangladesh or even in the manufacturing hubs, this information should be truly, honestly and properly communicated to the right sort of consumers. If you fail it, our efforts will all be drowned into meaningless initiatives. So how do you see this? That's one point. And another point is whereby the consumers are asking for so many things, are they ready to pay for it? Because sustainability has its cost. Thank you.
Thank you. It's a good question. First of all, let's say once we talk about that generation, let me share one of my story. Just day before yesterday, once I was having my dinner with my kids. My oldest one is 14 years old. Once I was sharing one story with her, then she was telling, it's a milestone. I mean, I was telling, she was asking like, for a pair of jeans, you guys are wasting 200 liters, more than 200 liters of water. Then I just told her, like, do you know to produce 1 kilogram rice, how much water are used? Then, of course, I also don't know exactly how much, but later on I realized it's more than 500 liters of water. So that generation, this not us or this not the brand or manufacturers, that generation, that's their expectation. So they will make us bound to understand this. So there's not a choice, sustainability, that are not the choice anymore. If you want to do the business, we have to do. And just one thing, let's say in future, the traceability. If we talk about, let's say, organic yarn, few years back, only certificate could tell the story about organic. But nowadays, there are many brands, they also need to test the DNA test of organic fibers. So this is how we need to tell our consumers, like, this is really organic. So that certificates are not working anymore. So that generation make us bound to ensure and keep in the right track. And as a brand, of course, we want to communicate with our vendors, with our customers, because they also should know. And of course, I agree with you, all the brands and all the retailers should work so collaboratively and openly. Everybody should communicate with their customers. And we all are responsible.
Thank you. So microphone to Mr. Maher. Tasmia, please. Yes.
Good afternoon. Greetings, everyone. My name is Maher. I'm Group CEO of Ideas Group and advisor and fellow STEX Foundation. We deal with sustainability. Big boss. And my question is, I do not know whom to ask. All the industry leaders, business, and embassies. We had a couple of sessions this week. And this question is asked, actually. So I want to repeat same questions. I'm sure there is a big bad name Bangladesh having today, even while we are talking about sustainability, talking about a lot of things and a lot of good things done. Unfortunately, this country, we do not know how to do green marketing. We have done the greenwashing, green factories, lead factories, everything. Mr. Rakib is sitting with one of the proud factories. I have two questions. What we have done together to let the world know what we have done, good things besides what we have done wrong. And number two, the millennials or Generation Z or even end consumers who are buying everything at double the price today because of whatever disruptions, war, inflation. What happened to garments? For 3 to 4 generations, brands are selling. I'm saying 3 to 4 generations, brands are selling $5.99, $15.99, $25.99. Why is not double? And why we don't buy half and pay right price and save our planet? We have only 2 years' time to reduce 1.5 to 2 degrees Celsius. And I know we are like camel. will not believe it until it happens. So I ask everybody, whether steel is not laid, how can we reach end consumers in high street and connect them to a QR code and let them know, do we have enough marketing there? Thank you so much. And I'm sorry for my long questions. Thank you.
Thank you. Really good questions. So I think again, Shofiur Bhai, and then also would like to know from the Excellences Thais, how could we actually let the world know about our good practices?
First of all, as a brand G-Star, if I talk about from our side, around 6 years back, we disclosed our manufacturing map with our consumers, customers. So everybody knows from where we are producing. So I think that was one of the great milestone for Bangladesh, and we are purchasing around 28% of our total collection from Bangladesh. So at least 28% of our customers, they knows from where we are producing. And of course, from sourcing point of view, as a brand G-Star, I can tell you we are paying the fair price. I'm not telling we are paying higher price, because for me, price is always very logical matter. And we also communicate what our customer expect and what we can produce, what we can, from where we should source to meet our customer expectation. And generally, let's say sourcing from Bangladesh, many of our, let's say now in my headquarter, many of them know already, we have in Bangladesh, there are more than 200 green platinum factory. We all believe like this is the safest sourcing country at the moment in the world. But still, as a brand, we cannot produce everything in Bangladesh. So generally, we always believe 30% is the maximum limit. So that's why we always try to put source maximum. And the QR code, these things, of course, let's say future generation, maybe still not the time, as I already mentioned, the traceability. We need to disclose the amount of carbon we are emitting to produce a product. Either this is t-shirt or shirt or denim or non-denim, whatever. That tag probably we need to mention in future.
Excellent, it is.
Although the gentleman is maybe not listening, thank you for this thought-provoking question, and indeed touch upon how to, where are we at the world at this moment actually, and what the government can do and what can consumers do. Well, as a government official, I only can say that we are at least asking producers to be as transparent as possible, go out and tell it, and I would like to compliment Bangladesh to do the best of Bangladesh in Amsterdam, where Bangladesh told the story, the real story, to consumers. What is the impact of their choice? And I guess that's what we as government should do, or governments, producers together, to inform, to be transparent and go and tell the real story. And indeed, we are 2 years to 1.5 degrees. It's still not too late to change. And I guess that's the story we have to tell constantly to consumers. Everyone should play his or her part in transforming the economy, transforming the ecology, and also transforming the planet. So this is a broader question than only garment, but I guess transparency goes for everyone, and also make informed decisions and think before you act. Thank you.
Thank you, distinguished speakers, for your valuable time and insights. So, honorable speakers, I would just like to request you all to kindly stand up for a group photo.